Hello everyone. So this is the most awaited video as always, the homework answers. So we are going to be discussing the homework answers for lesson 4, chapter 1, lesson 4. So to start with, as we already know now all the steps how to solve these equations. So let's do these homework questions and check by yourself the answers are correct or not. If it's correct, please take a pen and correct it for yourself. It's all right. Okay, question number 1 says negative 4x plus 7 equals 11, which means as we know that we have to solve the number first. So the plus 7 will become minus 7. So that will give you 11 minus 7 is 4. And x is equal to 4 divided by negative 4 because this is multiply. So the opposite of multiply is divide. In the next step we divide. So the answer for this question is going to be x is equal to 1. Okay. So the answer for question number 1 is x is equal to negative 1. Now I would have told you during the class time, do not check the answers because we have done enough checking in the previous 2 lessons, and also in the class we have done some. So that's enough. You don't need to check when you're doing the homework. If you want, I'm not stopping you. It's perfect to go and check your answers. Go ahead and check your answer to be sure that the answers are correct or not. Okay, then question number 2. 17 equals 5y minus 3. You know what to do. Minus 3 will become plus 3 because it will change the sides. So 17 plus 3 will give you 20 equals 5y. Y is going to be 20 divided by 4. So the answer for question number 2 is y is equal to 4. Easy, right? It's the same, only the side has changed. Here the number is at the end and here the number is first. Moving to question number 3. Negative 4 is equal to 2p plus 10. As always, negative 4 plus 10 will become minus 10. So minus 4 minus 10 will give you a minus 14, negative 14. So is equal to 2p, which is 2 multiplied by p. So p is going to be negative 14 divided by 2. P is going to be equal to negative 7. So here it should be p equals negative 7. So the answer for question number 3 is p equals negative 7. Hopefully these answers everyone will get right, as you have enough practice for solving equations by now. Okay, question number 4 says 3m plus 4 equals 1. Now these are the same steps to be followed, but wait, the answer is going to be, first let's follow the steps. So it's going to be 3m equals 1 minus 4 because the plus 4 will change the sign, so it will become minus 4. So 3m is going to be equal to minus 3 because 1 minus 4 will give you minus 3. Then m is going to be equal to minus 3 over 3, which is going to be equal to minus 1. So the value of m is going to be minus 1. All right, let's move to the next question. Now there's a decimal question. 12.4 equals 2g minus 3.5. So what will happen? Negative 3.5 will become a positive 3.5 because it's changing the side of the equation. So 12.5 plus 3.5 will give you a 16. So 16 equals 2g. Now, are you done with the question? Of course not, because we have to solve for a g. So there is a 2 with the g. You have to get rid of the 2. So this means multiply. So which you are going to do is going to be divide. 16 divided by 2 will give you an 8. So the answer for question number 5 is going to be g equals 8. Let's move to question number 6. Minus 13 equals minus h minus 7. Negative h minus 7. Okay, now what you're going to do, the negative 7, you will move to the other side. That will become positive 7. So minus 13 plus 7 will give you a minus 6. Now, minus 6 equals minus h. As you can see, both sides of the equations have minus sign. So when you have such questions, when both sides of the equation have minus sign, now here that means there is an invisible 1. Right? So that means it's going to be minus 6 divided by minus 1, which is going to give you a positive 6. As I have told you many times, here there is no number, means it's going to be a 1. So how are you going to solve this equation now? It's going to be minus 6 divided by minus 1. So minus 6 divided by minus 1 will give you a positive 6, a 6. 6 equals h is going to be answer. But not to do all these steps, to make it short, If both sides of the equation have negative signs, that is, this side of the equation has a negative with a number, this side of the equation has a negative sign with the variable, you can simply cancel them off. So your answer is going to be 6 equals h, or h equals 6. So this is the short way. Rather than dividing it with -1 and doing all these things, simply if both sides of the equation have negative signs, you can cancel them. So that will leave you with 6 equals h, which is the answer. 6 equals h, which is going to be the answer for question number 6. Let's move on to question number 7. So here we have -6 equals y over 5 plus 4. Now first thing first, so always get rid of this solve for plus 4. So plus 4, when it moves for the other side, that will become a -4. So -6 minus 4 is going to give you a -10 equals y divided by 5. Now the opposite of divide is multiply. So you're going to multiply -10 with 5. That will leave you with -50 equals y. So it is as easy as it looks. It's easy. Moving to question number 8. 7 over 9 equals 2n plus 1 over 9. Do not panic when you see such questions. Do not get tensed. Oh, what's this question? Once you start solving by each step, the answer will become clear and this question becomes easier too. So what's the first thing to do? Always remember, first thing is solve for the number. So 7 divided by 9 minus 1 over 9 will give you 2n. So solve this further. First check whether you can subtract them. If you can only subtract directly if the denominators are same. If the denominators are not same, you need to change them to equal denominators. So here both of them are 9, so we have no problem. We can only subtract the numerator. So 7 minus 1 will give you a 6 over 9 equals to n. So that's going to be 6 over 9 divided by 2, as this is 2 multiplied by n. You know it's going to be on the other side, it will become divide. Now it is divided by 2 means it's going to be 2 over 1, because this doesn't have a denominator, means it's going to be 1 there. So as you know, in fractions we do not divide. Whenever we have divide, we have to use KCF. So keep the first fraction, change the sign and flip the fraction over. Now this was here 2 over 1, that will become 1 over 2. So just solve them. So 6 multiplied by 1 is going to give you a 6. 9 multiplied by 2 is going to give you 18. So 6 over 18 equals n. Now before you stop doing the question, check whether the fraction is in its simplest form. Do you think this is in its simplest form? Of course, it's not in its simplest form. So search for a number which you can divide both of them, and it should be the greatest number which you can divide both of them. So which number do you think is the greatest number which you can divide both the numerator and denominator? You're right, it's 6. So 6 divided by 6 will give you 1, and 18 divided by 6 will give you a 3. So your answer for question number 8 is going to be 1 over 3. All right, hopefully most of you would have got this answer right. But if you have not, it's all right. It's okay to make mistake. You will know the mistake which you have done. Okay, moving to question number 9, we have -4 over 5t plus 5 equals 2 over 3. Now, what's the first step? Move the fraction, which is the number only, to the other side. So that will become -4 over 5t equals 2 over 3 minus 2 over 5. Now you have to listen to me very carefully for this question. Just concentrate a bit on what I'm telling you. You will understand, okay? Now 2 over 3 minus 2 over 5. Now can we subtract this as we do 2 minus 2 equals 0? We can't, because both the denominators are different. So we have to make them both the same. Which number do you think we are going to make this 2 the same? Is there a number with which I multiply 3, I can get 5? There is no number which I can multiply 3 and get a 5. So we have to conclude a number with which we can multiply both of them and get a common number for both the denominators. So what do you think we are going to do? Just multiply the opposite. Multiply this with 5 and this with 3. When you cannot get a number by which you can multiply this and make it equal to 5, just multiply both of them in opposite numbers. So multiply this fraction with 5 and multiply this fraction with 3. because it's 3 here, 5 here. So multiply this with 3 and this with 5. So what's that going to give you? 5 2s will give you 10, 5 3s will give you 15. Which number did I ask you to multiply this with? The opposite of this. So 3 is going to be 3 2s are 6, 3 5s are 15. Or in other words, the LCM of 3 and 5 is 15. Okay, now if you can remember what LCM is, you have to find the LCM of 3 and 5, and that's 15. So we have to make both the fractions equal to 15. Okay, so the next step is solve them. Minus 4 over 5t equals 10 minus 6 is 4 over 15. Now comes the other part. Are we done with the question yet? No, we have not finished, because we have to remove this number from here. So 4 over 5 multiplied by t, what happens is it will become divided by negative 4 over 5. 4 over 15 divided by negative 4 over 5. So as you know that there is no dividing, we have to always use KCF. So we keep, change, and flip. So we have kept it, change the sign, and flip the fraction. So 4 over 5 will become 5 over 4. Don't flip the sign. Don't think that negative will become positive. No, you only flip the fraction, not the sign. Okay, now solve it. So 4 5s are going to give you a 20. 4 multiplied 15 is going to give you a 60. So t equals negative 20 divided by 60. So still further, you have to simplify it. You cannot leave it like that. So further simplifying, you'll be left with, I'm going to divide the numerator and the denominator with a 20, because you can divide both, and that's the greatest number. You can divide both. So 20 divided by 20 is going to give you 1, and 60 divided by 20 will give you 3. So t is equal to negative 1 over 3. Let's move to the next question. If you have problem if you think I was explaining fast so that you could not understand, just pause the video and just watch what has been done. You will understand what has been done for the question. Just observe when you don't understand. Okay, let's move on to the next question. That's question number 10. So here again, it's a different kind of a question. We have negative, in parentheses, x minus 10 equals 7. Always remember, if there is no number here, means that's going to be always a 1. If there is no number in front of a variable or in front of a parenthesis, or like if there is no number, that means it's going to be a 1 here. So this means negative 1 multiplied by x. Negative 1 multiplied by negative 10, that's what they mean. So always imagine that there is a negative 1 here. So of course you need to solve the parenthesis first. So what do you think negative 1 multiplied by x is going to give you? That's going to give you a negative 1x. So negative 1x means we can write it as negative x, as we don't always write the 1. So make the 1 vanish. Okay, so negative x. Then negative 1 multiplied by negative 10 will give me a positive 10, because I'm multiplying two negative numbers. So finally the answer I should be with positive sign. So negative 1 multiplied by negative 10 is going to give you a positive 10 equals 7. Now it's easy, right? So negative 10 equals 7 minus 10. So negative x equals 7 minus 10, which is equal to negative 3. Now, as I said previously in one of the questions, if both sides of the equation have negative signs, you can simply cancel them. So that will leave you with x is equal to 3. The only difference in this question was there was no number given here. In the previous questions, there was a number given minus 5, minus 3. But here there is no number, which means it's going to be always 1 here. So negative 1, you multiply each of the terms inside, and then that's all usually how you would solve an equation. Easy, right? Let's move to question number 11. Now again, it's the same kind of question. So now you know what to do better. What you have to do, multiply each of the terms inside the parentheses. So minus 2 multiplied by b will give you minus 2b. Minus 2 multiplied by positive 5 will give you a negative 10 equals negative 6. So minus 2b multiplied by b will give you minus 2 multiplied by b will give you minus 2b. Minus 2 multiplied by positive 5 will give you a negative 10 equals 6, negative 6. So now you can solve as how you would normally solve. All what you need to do is move the negative 10 to the other side. That will become a positive 10. So negative 2b equals 4. Negative minus 6 plus 10 will give you a 4. B is going to be equal to 4 divided by negative 2. B is going to be equal to negative 2. This is why I keep saying talk when you solve the question for yourself. Talk to yourself, you will get the steps very quickly and you can keep solving them. If you question yourself, what's the next step? What's the next one? The way I'm explaining, you try to explain yourself. When you solve the question, it will become easier for you and you will become a pro in mathing solving these equations. Okay, moving to question number 12. All right, now the first step first, always solve the parenthesis first, right? The first step first, solve the parenthesis first. So it's going to be 8. Did it sound like a rhyme? Fine. 4 multiplied by q will give you a 4q. 4 multiplied by negative 2 will give you a negative 8. So this is the equation you're going to solve. What are you going to do? See, you can see that there are two numbers on this side. So solve the two numbers first because we need one number and one number on each side. So even if you want to move both the numbers onto the other side, that's well and fine. There is nothing wrong. If you have written 8 plus 8 minus 4 and you want to solve it, fine, go ahead. You can do. But it's better you solve these two numbers first so that it will become easier for us to change the number. So minus 8 plus 4 will give you minus 4, right? So all what you're going to do is move the negative 4 to the other side. That will give you a positive 4. 8 plus 4 is going to give you 12. 12 equals 4q. Have you finished? No, you have not, because you have to solve for 4q. You have to solve for q, not for 4q. So 12 divided by 4 will become q. Q equals 3. And tada, these are your answers for all the solving questions. So these are the last two questions remaining. Now these are more easier, and you have to follow the important step. Then you have to find the value of x minus 6. How do you know what is the value of x minus 6 when you do not know the value of x? So find the value of x using this equation. So can we start? It's going to be 3x equals negative 2 plus 8, because the negative 8 will move to the other side. That will give you a 6, because negative 2 plus 8, you subtract and choose the sign which the bigger number has. So it's going to be a positive 6. So x is going to be equal to 6 divided by 3. X is going to be equal to 2. So now that we know the value of x, we can find the value of x minus 6. What is the value of x we got? We got 2 and minus 6. So that's going to give you a negative 4. How did we get a negative 4? It's 2 minus 6. Yes, because it's minus 2 minus 6 will give you a 4, and then we choose the sign which the bigger number has. The bigger number between 2 and 6 is 6, and the sign in front of it belongs to the number, so that becomes a negative 4. So the value of x minus 6 is negative 4. Finally, to the last question. If negative 2, 3y plus 5 equals negative 4, find the value of 5y. The first step first always. So solve for solve for y. This question has y. I have been searching so many x's now, so I get the flow very quickly with x. Okay. Minus 2 multiplied by 3 will give you a minus 6y. Then minus 2 multiplied by positive 5 will give you a negative 10. These are all rules of integers. You need to review them every day. Just like from grade 1 to 4, how you have been learning the multiplication tables every day, the same way you have to learn the integer rules every day. Okay, now as you know, it's easy for us to solve. The negative 6y equals negative 4 plus 10. As the negative 10 moves to the other side, that will become a plus 10. What's the next step? Minus 6 equals 6. And the next one is y is equal to 6 over negative 6. That will give you a negative 1. Now, if you ask me, can you say the negative belongs to the y? Yes, you can. So that will become minus y equals 6 over x. So that will give you a minus y equals negative 1. And then you can simply shift the negative to the number. So that will give you again y is equal to negative 1. Whether you solve it like that or like this, your answer for y is going to be negative 1. So now we can find the value of 5y. 5y means 5 multiplied by y. So y is negative 1. 5 multiplied by negative 1 is going to be equal to negative 5. The value of 5y is negative 5. Hopefully, I have tried my best in explaining the steps as detailed as possible. and within a short time. I did not want to make the video very long, as nobody likes to watch long videos. Okay, so hopefully all the answers are right. If your answers are right, you can just pat your shoulders and say well done. Okay, so until we meet again in another video, keep learning and keep practicing math. So let's meet in another video.